Welcome back to the show, everybody. IGN Live from Gamescom, brought to you by Homefront: The Revolution. I'm Damon Hatfield. I'm joined now by Brian Horton, game director on Rise of the Tomb Raider. Brian,
it's great to see you again, Damon.
Welcome to the show. Always a pleasure. Let's talk about Rise of the Tomb Raider. This is one of my most anticipated games.
I know, and we really like that you say that.
I'm going to keep saying that. I got to play it here at the show finally, and I had a great time. But let me ask you this: you showed it at E3, and you showed like a climbing section on stage at
that Woman versus
Microsoft's
Wild
briefing.
fantasy.
Yeah, and then you had a behind closed doors demo, which you later released, which showed a lot about her new survival skills and fighting bears and all that stuff. And then you showed it again here at the show, which we have footage of. We'll bring up here in a second. But then what I got to play behind closed doors was an actual tomb.
Yeah.
Which is like one of the big key points here, bringing tombs, more back into the fray. So but what I want to ask you is, when you're on stage at these big shows, why won't you show a tomb then? I think people want to see the tomb raiding.
It's funny because we always think people want to experience tombs.
Yeah.
I think.
I guess so, because there's puzzles.
There's puzzles.
I totally get that.
There's something about getting the control in your hand and exploring a tomb for yourself, and you experience that a little bit at the demo. And we feel like, yes, everyone wants to see tombs, and we do want to show tombs. But what we felt like we could do with this is show a 1-2 punch. So we had the idea of player choice and really letting the player say, what is your strategic goals when you're dealing with these hostile forces of Trinity? You can take a stealthy route, or you can take a more aggressive route. Mm-hmm. We really wanted to show that we're really expanding on those systems and to give that improvisational play. But for tombs, obviously, that's a big message for us. We want to make sure we're coming strong, and we're bringing a larger tomb with into not just more tombs, but they're larger and more complex.
Sure. All right, let's bring up the footage here. But what sort of set this up for us at the beginning of this game? Where is Laura? I mean, what's her headspace?
Well, her headspace is she's seen something. In this, obviously, at this point here, she's pretty far into Siberia, right? She's now seen this geothermal valley nestled within this hostile winter wasteland. But where she's at in headspace is she's seen this thing on Yamatai, something she couldn't explain, and now she has a purpose in life. She's going to seek out these secrets in the world, and she has to go to these remote hostile locations to do it. She is taking those steps to really embrace her destiny, I guess is the best way I could say where she's at mentally. And not only is she interested in finding these places, she catches the attention of Trinity, and they're an ancient organization, been around for thousands of years, and they've been looking for this lost city of Katesh, since Byzantine times.
And she's sort of being spurred on by these voice recordings that are left by her father.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. So the one of the narrative pulls that she has is because she has witnessed these things, Yamatai, these paranormal things, her father had these theories himself that she didn't believe. But now that she's seen it, she picks up his research and takes it further, and she makes this connection between Syria, which is where you played in the tomb,
right,
and that the lost city of Katesh was actually in Siberia. So she followed these breadcrumbs that her father couldn't figure out.
So Syria, Siberia. Are there other locations we should expect to?
There's other locations, but really those are the two primary game spaces that we're focused on. And just like in the last game, we wanted to create a big open space with a lot of explorations, a lot of different ecosystems. So what we're showing here is, even though this is still in Siberia, you can see it's not snow on the ground, and we really want to make sure that when you're in that location, that it's going to constantly evolve, and that it would be a great playground for Lara to express this exploration. We talked about our exploration spaces being 3 times the size they were on the last game, and not only are they larger, but they're more dense. There's more things you can collect. You have hunting and resource collection. It's really playing a part in the way you can upgrade Lara at base camp.
So I think this looks beautiful. It's raining. We're inside this hut, and you can see little, water droplets falling down. It looks awesome. What is the new gen technology allowed you to do?
Well, we've invested in a lot of new features. It is the foundation of the last engine, but our rendering technology has been completely rewritten. So a brand new image-based lighting system, which gives much more realistic lighting. We have a physically based rendering material system, which means skin looks like skin, cloth looks like cloth, and metal looks like metal. Obviously, Lara herself, we put a lot of time and attention into her, making sure that her animation is as believable as possible, using a new blend shape system that gives her a much more emotive facial animations. And of course, continuing on the spline-based hair system and more particles in the world that are lit. There's just so many features that the art and tech team have put into this to really bring out the full power of the Xbox One.
So at the beginning of the game, does Lara have all of the skills that she had at the end of the last game, or do we need to relearn some things?
Well, we relearned some things, but we also, there's new abilities like this. You just saw the double shot.
Yeah, I like
and
that.
that's a skill you can purchase.
Really cool.
So depending on your play style, you'll be able to look at your skills, and we had a skill tree on the last game,
Right.
but we've really expanded that to give a lot more abilities to be more aggressive if you want to be aggressive, or stealthy if you want to stay stealthy. And then of course, one thing that we have been saying is that this area that we call them, this area has 3 bubbles of gameplay that you could play through this entire area without taking out one single guard. You could just stealth through the whole thing, and it's not a linear path. These are non-linear paths that the player can discover, replay, and find a whole new experience from.
So what's Lara trying to do right here? What's her?
So her goal is to get to the
primary-
cathedral in the distance,
Okay.
and in that cathedral, of course, is a tomb.
Right.
And it's one of the big. I can't go into details about the story at this point, but that cathedral holds something extremely important and the clue that she needs to find the lost city of Katesh. So Trinity has occupied this valley, and they're also seeking this out, and she's in a race against them to try to find it. So they're taking a very broad approach. They're bringing a lot of resources in. They have the choppers, they have the soldiers, and Lara has her smarts and has her what we're calling the guerrilla style combat, which gives her a lot of advantages because she's using the environment against them.
The last game had such a great sense of scale. Huge environments, and then you would see your goal way off in the distance,
Yep.
and you would eventually reach it. And it seems like you're keeping with that theme here. You just got a nice shot of the cathedral up top.
So if you remember from E3, when we were in the Avalanche demo, there was a structure
Right.
off in the distance.
Yeah.
That's this cathedral.
Awesome.
So we're talking about over hours of time.
Yeah.
You're seeing a landmark, and you're getting closer
Closer and
and
closer.
closer and closer
So
to
cool.
that landmark. And I think you would agree that was one of the coolest things
Yeah, for sure.
about Tomb Raider in the last game, is that world feels believable. It's a place that you feel that sense of progression and a great satisfaction when you get there, because you had to earn it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, this is making me. I want to go play the definitive edition again.
Yeah,
It's so good.
Well, I think for those that played Definitive Edition or played the last game on Xbox 360. This is a great continuation. If you've never played Tomb Raider before, this is also a great time to jump in. I mean,
Okay.
there's nothing in this game that means that you have to have played it, but of course we encourage those who haven't
Yeah.
to go back and try it out, because it
Sure.
really will enrich in the experience. And here's our tomb montage.
Yeah.
We are really going full on, bringing a large number of tombs, and they all have a sense of richness and ancient history, and of course challenge. We really want to make sure that our challenge tombs live up to their names.
Sure. Yeah, this is the
series
sequence that I got to play the other day.
So give me your impressions on that. I'm just interested.
Well, I thought it was great. There are a lot of puzzles, like physics-based environmental puzzles, like the sort that we saw in the first game.
Yeah. So what we try to do with physics-based puzzles, in the last game we spent a lot of our time in one room. Like you had one physics-based thing and you solved it and that was it. Really what we're trying to do is spread that out and let you do more of them in what we call the nested puzzle formula. So there'll be multiple smaller puzzles that lead up to the ultimate result. So yeah.
And I also like the mechanic. You have a new mechanic where she can learn foreign languages.
Yeah,
right?
so that's the other exciting thing about the tombs is we're adding this translation system.
Yeah.
So you can go around, read these murals, unlock pieces of that, ultimately builds up your language skill, and then you can translate these monoliths, and those monoliths then lead you to coordinates you can find things throughout the world. So we're really trying to make sure that exploration and discovery is as important as any of the other pillars that we have in the game. I mean, Tomb Raider is not any one thing.
Sure.
So it's that combination of your traversal exploration, your guerrilla-style combat, and I'm missing one. So,
but there are 3.
There are 3. It's early. It's early
Yeah,
in the
I know.
morning.
It's early here in Germany.
But the hope always is that we're telling a complete picture of what it means to be a Tomb Raider. And if you're a fan of the classics, if you're a fan of Lara Croft, really feeling that sense of adventure, I think you're going to really enjoy what we have.
And as I found out, you are bringing back the gruesome kills.
Yeah, I mean,
I fell on a spike and it went through my head.
But you've played the original Tomb Raider, right? I mean, the thing is that was you can't have drama without the stakes, right? And those stakes are definitely, I mean, not stakes, spears.
Literal stakes. Yeah. Brian, thank you so much for coming by the show.
Oh,
always a pleasure. Super excited for
Great to talk to you again.
Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's out November 10th.
And 13th for those.
13th over here in Europe.
In Europe.
So, stay tuned. So much more to come from day 2 of Gamescom here at IGN Live after this.